Assalamu alaikum. Hey guys, I'm back and welcome all of you to my new video tutorial. This is almost 3 months break. After that, I just came up with this video tutorial. I do apologize if I make you guys wait until this time. Anyway, let me just get back to the business. This video tutorial is going to be all about, setting your environment in Python window. So it's very essential to learn. I wish I could have uploaded this video as early as possible, but I couldn't due to semester pressure and some other things. Anyway, so I'm glad that I have brought up this video today, and I hope you will like it. So this video tutorial is going to talk about the process of setting your environment using ArcPy module in your Python window. So without further delay, let's just jump into our tutorial. So as usual, first of all, let me just walk you through the working environment, interface that I'll be using for this tutorial. As usual, I'll be using ArcMap 10.6, and I have brought a change in terms of using data. So when I was in Bangladesh, I basically used to use, data based on Bangladesh. But right now, as I'm blessed to have some sort of data based on, United States of America, so I'm going to use, a shift file called perks.shp, which is nothing but the collection of, various perks situated, across the United States of America. So it's nothing but the entertainment or recreational perk. So it's a polygon file already. It's already dragged into the environment. Look, this is the perk, shape, and they are situated. So, and I'll be using, Python window for my coding environment. So let me just show you, going to the uh, perks of an attribute table. Uh, look, it looks nice. Having some fields called shape, kind of shape polygon, perk name, perk ID, perk type, and shape area and shape length. So, like, the first perk name, Mabel Davis, it's a kind of perk which is categorized as district perk. Followed by another perk is called Marble Creek. It's a, green belt kind of perk. So these are the field, named as field in this, attribute table for this particular data called perks shift file. But this is not our concern today for this tutorial. We are concerned about basically setting your environment. That's gonna be, super cool to save your time. So how to do this? Let's just, go ahead and proceed on this process. So exit it. And to do so, first of all, I need to drag my Python window. As usual, you are already acquainted with this, a window. If you are still not, please go back and have a look at my previous video uh, where I have talked about, these things a lot. So setting your environment can be accomplished in basically two ways. Okay, I'll show you, both of them. So bit by bit, first, I have to, import the core module on which all of the all of the other cores will be standing, which is nothing but the ArcPy module. And all of you know, perhaps already are acquainted that ArcPy module has been designed or developed by Esri. So it's their product, it's their design. So I just need to first import ArcPy. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the first way of setting your environment. Later on I'll be showing the other one as well. Just bear with me and stay tuned at the till the end of this video. So import ArcPy. So from ArcPy from ArcPy import I need to import another kind of function called environment, and env is the short form of the environment. So env is the short of environment. I just imported it. Okay, so now based on environment env one dot is followed by a method. So I'm going to use a method called workspace, and an equal should be used. Now I have to put the file directory where my data has been deposited. So as this should be a string value, and a string value should be placed in between an inverted comma, double inverted comma, or single inverted comma, as you wish. So I'm going to use double inverted comma. This is the file directory, iHassan 2020, YT, a YouTube tutorial. I just copied this file directory and I just put there. Here I wanna remind you, I know you perhaps know these things, but to let you know that Python accepts only three kind of file directories. So first one is forward slash. So here is the backward slash. I need to convert it. Forward slash. Okay. And the other kind of file path that also is accepted by Python, which is double backward slash. So that could be kind of double backward slash, this one. So this one is also valid. Okay, apart from this, there is another kind of file system and file pathway that is also accepted, which is kind of single backward slash with a R placed before the inverted comma. So R means kind of it just undoes the effect of backward slash, nothing else. So but I'm gonna use for this tutorial forward slash method. Okay, cool. Forward slash. So look, we have written 3 lines code, but by this time we have set up our environment. Now I'm going to show you something else using a function called exist. This exist function basically works to evaluate, to test any source of data like shapefile or any file, whether it exists or not under a particular directory. So let's just pick up a random shapefile from this working environment pathway, and let's let the code decide whether it really exists or not. Yeah, we can see that this file does exist, but let the code decide whether it exists or not. So how can we understand whether it exists or not? What kind of indication this code is going to portray or render? Yes, if the basically we will get the signal by getting to kind of boolean value, true or yes, true or false. If the file does exist, the code will render with a value called true, and if it does not, then the code will render false. So let's just once again use ArcPy, and under ArcPy I'm just going to call upon exist function. This is nearby. Okay, so we have to put the shift file like perks. Be careful about your spelling. If you misspell, you will be caught. Perks, yes, shp, and put the in the inverted comma. Press that enter. Look, the code rendered with true value, true boolean value. So it means that perks.shape shape file does exist under our just already a set of environment, this file path, this directory. So this is how we can set up our environment, and based on this environment we can just keep working and working. No worry, we'll have. So this is one type. This is one way of setting your environment. Now I'm going to show you the other way, where we will be using more kind of less code than this. Here we have just used 3-line codes to set up our environment. On the other hand, the one I'm going to show you right now, that will be using just 2-line codes to set up your environment. So let's just see how can I do this for you. So first of all, let me just efface this, clear all, and our Python window now looks like empty. As usual, you have to import ArcPy, and then once again ArcPy. Remember it. This is this number 2 way by which you can set up your environment. ArcPy.env.workspace, and just use the equal sign and start with the starting double inverted comma, and put your file directory with / converting / into it. You can also use the other 2 method of file path that I have already showed you and told you. Double inverted, sorry, double backslash or backslash with R, but I prefer to use this one. Now look, we just use 2 lines code to set up our environment. I hope that our working environment has already been set up. So if I just click enter, it says that our environment has been set up. One thing, how could I understand that it's been set up, or whether our code has been validated? Okay, let me just explain a little bit. This is the command prompt. Python window is a kind of Python interpreter or environment where it allows you to run 1-line code at a time. Once you are ended up to write your first line code and you press the enter button, and if it goes to the immediate number 2 line code, just showing this uh, command prompt without giving any message, error message, it says that your first line code is initially approved. Then you can go, or proceed on to using, next line code. So uh, just like this, our 2 line code has been set up and it succeeded. Now we can work on it. As usual for the, earlier one, I'm gonna use, another like exist function to check whether this environment has been successfully set, and under this the file we are showing whether it does exist or not. Let the code decide whether it's or not. As usual we have done for the first one. So ArcPy, once again call upon, and then exist let's pick up another random shapefile. This time let's pick up the facilities shapefile. So be careful. Once again, facilities shp. Looks like I did not do any misspell. Okay, if I just click enter, once again another green signal boolean value which says that true. It means that facilities, the file we're seeing, we are just watching here, it does exist based on the code under this file directory. So we are all set right now to walk our next step uh, to the destination. We can work on this file directory of this environment. No harm we will get, and we don't need to use the input file again and again, and that's very cumbersome and time consuming. So this is basically once you are done to set up this environment, it will be valid as long as you are working under this file directory or environment. Now I'm going to show you to create a new file, a new kind of dissolve shift file, and that dissolve shift file will be automatically saved in the same directory from where the input file has been collected or input file has been extracted. So this is the advantage. So uh, just bear with me for a couple of minutes to get the proof how can we be benefited from this environmental setting, environment setting. I just effaced the exist function. Now I'm going to show you the effectiveness and the usefulness of setting your environment to create a new shapefile using another function called dissolve management. And I will show you that that newly created dissolve file will automatically be directed or deposited under this directory, under this environment. So let's just work on our next phase of this tutorial. For this purpose, as I have already showed you that perks.shift file I'll be using. It's a polygon, so like there are a lot of polygons there. So I'm gonna just put it together in a kind of aggregated form. So to do so, first I just need to call upon the ArcPy module, as usual, and under this I'm gonna call upon the dissolve management function. Okay, so to use this function you need to know some several things, I would say, like some are mandatory to use and some are optional to use. But those which are mandatory as a parameter to use, that you need to know at least. Just for optional, let it go. First of all, I'm required to insert the input feature. Here our input feature is shp shapefile. So just it's prompted, suggested. That's the advantage of using Python window. Just click it, put a comma. So I'm not gonna use the full pathway, that's so long exactly, looks like. Instead of this, to save my time, I'm gonna use just a sub file called result, which is under this file. It is still valid because of this setting environment. So it's the advantage that we can harvest from this process. So first, alongside with the output pathway, I need to assign a name for my output file as well. So let's just show the pathway, which is nothing but the results, and use a forward slash and assign a name like, let's say, perk underscore dissolved. Okay, so it's done. Followed by it, our next task is to assign the dissolve feature, which is nothing but the perk shape. It should be put inside the square bracket. Sorry, square bracket and into the inverted comma. Okay, so all should be capitalized. Perk name, once again, just perk name 2 times. Sorry, it should be 2 times. Close the square bracket here, put a comma to separate it. Next parameters is just this one. It's a kind of white space or empty, whatever you say, comma separated. And then another parameters, which is single paired or multi-paired. So there is a big discussion to differentiate between this. I'm not gonna spend my time on it. I will make a separate video on it, but I will prefer to use single paired among these two, one single and multi-paired. So just type this single paired in uppercase. It's prompted. Okay, put a comma. And last but not the least, the parameters that we should use for this function called dissolve management is dissolve line. Okay, so close the first bracket, which was started from right there, and just give a cross check whether all of the parameters have been successfully placed into the bracket. So yeah, looks fine. Results, okay, comma, per type two times, single paired, dissolve lines. Oh, okay, so for me it looks good. I mean, kind of flawless. So now let's go ahead and we're all set. Just, I mean, one click away to press the enter. Press and let's see what happens. Yeah, I think our code has been successfully executed, and this is the symbol. So here perk dissolve one polygon shape file has been created, and if I just, I mean, show you and uncheck this file and check this file, you can visualize the difference exactly. Before that, the thing I'm going to show you that there is a separate file called perk dissolve has been created, and where is that file? Our concern is that this file based on our code was supposed to be deposited automatically into a sub file called result under this directory. So let's just check it right now. Right now it has no file inside this sub file called result, but we need to refresh it. If I just refresh the main file, let's see, look here, one something inside this file. Just click this and look, perk dissolve shape file has been, I mean, smoothly successfully added to this subfile. So this is the advantage of, I mean, working with your work, I mean, environment or workspace. Now, let me just, I mean, show you some difference which has come up due to this code executed, I mean, on perks shape file, and we have got this perk dissolve shape file. It's very difficult to visualize the difference from the image itself. Rather, let's go ahead to the open attribute table. First on one, this one, the earlier one. Look, there are, I mean, many fields, several fields over there. But when we have got this outcome, it demonstrates that, I mean, the perk type has been sorted out or amalgamated, I mean, based on some criteria. So in perks shapefile earlier, the perk type was, I mean, not organized. Now, look, I mean, till 15 polygons, all perks are district perks. Then golf course, then green belt, like that. It has been sorted out and dissolved. So this is the outcome of using dissolve tool. So uh, that's a very good thing you can use with your work. Now, at the very end of our video, let me just recap what we have learned from this tutorial. First, I have tried to show you how to set up the uh, environment into your Python window, and I have demonstrated two different ways of setting your environment using ArcPy environment and workspace module. So then followed by that, I have created a new shapefile, and that new shapefile, I have proved that by this coding, uh, it is automatically deposited to the directory from where we have extracted the input file. We have not used the full pathway. We just used a sub pathway, which is, smaller than that of the, other data. We just used, a sub pathway, which literally, save our time and save a, I mean, big workload. So that's all for the time being. I hope you guys have liked my video. If you have, please do subscribe to my channel. I will come up with another new video very soon. Till then, bye bye.